from Facebook to YouTube, and we're now on our new permanent home, the Get Clients with Video TV channel. So we'll be interviewing some amazing business people and finding out where they started, what they've been doing, and what they're doing in the future. And of course, we'll also be having it with little tips about what we do with video, because that is my thing, and repurposing and all that malarkey. So today we have a treat for you today with our first guest on the YouTube channel. It is Denise Mortimer, and she is a rapid I keep going to call it rapid reaction. It's a rapid oh gosh, I can't even think what I'm trying to say now because I'm all excited. A rapid results technician, for want of a better word, I think. And NLP coach. She's also, I believe, a relationship coach. She also has her own radio show. So I'm feeling very blessed today, for sure. So anyway, without further ado, let me bring on Denise. Hello, Denise. Let's
hi, Nick.
Share the screen. Denise Mortimer. Sorry, a rapid
transformation.
Transformation. That was the word. What word to forget? A rapid transformation coach, which I find really exciting and really interesting. And my first question to you is, how did you get into being a rapid transformation coach? Because I'm sure that's what most people want. A quick,
yes, yeah. Well, that's so interesting because we have options of having a traumatic childhood and then spending the rest of our adulthood trying to get over it with some other talk therapies. But this is a therapy that really gets to the heart of the matter and enables you to move on rapidly, hence the name. But I stumbled upon this back in September. Well, I'd heard about it before September 2019, but as soon as I had a rapid transformation session, I was hooked because I have done so much work on myself over the years, and I was almost convinced that there was nothing else to reveal, to uncover, to heal, to leave behind. And when I had the rapid transformation session, within a matter of probably 2 weeks, so many dramatic changes, positive dramatic changes started taking place in my life. I was hooked and I had to train in it because I thought this is actually prerequisite for people building businesses.
Cool. So what was it that actually made you go look for it in the first place? Because I know, as you just said, you thought you'd done everything you could, but was there a trigger which made you look for this one particular thing?
I kept seeing it cropping up, and I was like, what is it? And it kept cropping up on my Facebook, and I spent, I've built my business on Facebook, so I spend a lot of time on there, and it just kept cropping up. And when something keeps coming into your field of vision, it's like, okay, the universe is giving me a message. Maybe I need to pay attention to this. And it just so happens that somebody who I have a great deal of respect for, had just qualified as a practitioner in rapid transformation. So I contacted her and I said, can I get a session booked in? And that was the rest is history now.
Cool. And so was that something you did online more than anything? I mean, Facebook has a way of helping the universe find us, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, algorithms. So yes, it's all done online. It's like, it's the modality was created by a woman named Marissa Peer, and it's a hypnotic procedure, but it's a really clean, neat, end-to-end process that is so powerful and so transformational. I know that everybody finds their own way to unblock themselves from limiting beliefs. But for me, I'd never come across anything so fast, so powerful, so thorough, so empowering. So it's such a beautiful process.
Oh, that's really good. And of course, so you got this but midway through last year, and so you'd already got your NLP coaching, and so did you then?
Yeah.
So you then set up a new business. I mean, just to double check, I know you have your radio show, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But so your main business now is the rapid transformation.
Well, it made sense. So in short, my online career is started 4 years ago, and I was doing just straightforward life coaching. And then the more I invested in business skills, the more I realized I had a really good knack for business skills. So I went into business mentoring. And what I started realizing, Nick, was that no matter how many strategies and how many systems and how many processes and how much I believed in someone, I couldn't make them succeed. I couldn't, like, I wanted them to succeed, but I couldn't do it on their behalf. And then when I came across rapid transformation therapy, for me, it seems like the difference that makes the difference, because once you clear the old baggage, you open up the way for you to become more intentional in manifesting what you want. The problem happens when people say they want something, like, I want to have a really successful business, but then they don't show up online, or they don't take the action, or they're afraid to charge what they really want to charge because they've got these stories going on in their head. Those stories are your limiting beliefs. Your conscious mind is saying, yes, I'm really keen to do this. I know I can do this. I know there's more in me. And your subconscious mind is going, no way, you're that useless, worthless child. You don't feel like you're good enough. You were told you weren't good enough. No one in your family's ever made it. You don't deserve money. Like, whatever, like, pick your story, pick your limiting story. And it holds you back. And rapid transformation just gives you an opportunity to, like, release all of that in a kind, forgiving, loving way, and to move forward with your life like no other.
Oh wow! I mean, I've got to admit, I'm very keen. Again, only in the last few years into like law of attraction, manifesting, and the like, because yeah, I was trapped by my limiting beliefs. Similar to what you were saying, is that yeah, I was a business coach's worst nightmare. I'd be sitting there and I'd be going, yeah, great.
Yeah.
And then we'd meet again the next month and they say, oh, did you do this? And I say, oh well, I got slightly distracted doing that.
Yeah.
And it was quite funny. One of them called me the other day. They said, "Oh yeah, you're so patient." I said, "Coming from you, I take that as a great compliment." so because this is quite, I want to be careful how I word this, because this is quite an out there type of thing. Anything I find that when I talk about manifesting and law of attraction and vibration, some people do go a little bit ooh. And I'm saying no, because I believe there's the science behind it. Is there any challenges that you've had to overcome explaining it, or as you've developed along this route?
In a word, no, because those who connect with the message that I put, social media being my main channel of marketing myself, those who connect with the message are almost already sold on it. And those who come from recommendation, well, that's a done deal. Like they're like, because someone they love has recommended them, there's no better. So I've not really come across any challenges. I have had someone who felt like it was going against their Christian values because hypnosis wasn't, part of their religion. But I had just had a conversation and explained why, hypnosis is one of the most, so hypnosis is backed, hypnosis is one of the most powerful ways to change your limiting beliefs, because you're changing the neural pathways in your mind. There's plenty of evidence showing that when people have a stroke and a part of their brain dies, they can practice, and they build those neural connections again. It's the same thing that you're doing when you're doing a hypnotic procedure, but you don't have to kill off a part of your brain. You just, you're choosing to close it down to open up a new roadway. It's like closing down a broken old road to open up a new super highway for you to achieve what you want. If you haven't got what you want, like, some people will be like, how do I not have a limiting belief? If you look at the state of your life and it's not where you want it to be, there's something in your life that's holding you back. There's a limiting belief. If you can look around and think things are pretty damn good, then you're pretty sure you can be pretty sure that you've cleared most of your stuff. But a lot of people have issues with money, or feeling like they're an imposter, or feeling like they have poor personal boundaries and they have to overgive, or they may just procrastinate and never actually take action. And these are all like the origins of all of these behaviors are from limiting beliefs from childhood.
Yes, I've often read that is, up to the age of about 7 or 8, isn't it? Your mind is, what was it? The two fears you have: falling over and loud noises or something. I'm sort
Yes.
of, and yeah, everything else is just a learned behaviour. So we contain ourselves, or we're contained by people that want to protect us, but not knowing that, that they're mucking us up.
Yes, yes. Well, I always say this, Nick, and people love it because they connect with it. I'm like, our parents' primary job is to screw us up. They don't do it intentionally. They don't do it intentionally because they can only do the best they can with what they've got. When we know better, we do better. And they can only shape us in what they think is the best way forward. Even if that best way forward is hugely damaging, we only ever do the best we can.
No, I remember I lived with my great aunt. She lived with us for many, many years, and I remember telling her that when I first was going to have my own business, first of all, she was absolutely petrified. She said, "Oh, that's a very dangerous thing to do. Why don't you get a job in banking?" And I was like, "It's like, yeah, because that's such a rock solid job." But no, but that was the way she'd been brought up as well.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And we're constantly leaking our limiting beliefs. And I've become so like laser sharp at detecting when people say something and I'll be like, that's interesting. And they're like, oh my God, I never realized that. Like, because this verbal leakage just like gives away so much about what you believe is possible. And as soon as you challenge people on it in a kind and loving way, they start thinking like, wow, maybe I could show up differently in the world. Maybe I could have. I love the word quantum leap because that's what
Mm.
I feel people get when they experience rapid transformation therapy. They have a quantum leap because suddenly their energy changes. And I'll talk to you more about how I believe the law of attraction is entwined with rapid transformation therapy because I absolutely love sharing how the two things work together perfectly.
Oh gosh, yeah, please do. One thing I just wanted to pick up on, and that is there's a hypnotherapy element. And I was chatting to my sister who's a GP, and she was, she says, no, it's recognised, it's absolutely fine with the General Medical Council, and certainly in the States, it's all fine to use, but people still think, oh, hypnotherapy. I think they think back to stage hypnotists and doing
Yes.
things that you might not necessarily want to do, but you can't do that, can you? I don't think that's a possible.
Well, your subconscious mind, when you're under hypnosis, you're just having a conversation like this with me, except you're just in a really relaxed state where we elicit your theta brainwaves because you're more responsive when you're in that particular brainwave. So you can, if you needed to go to the toilet or you needed to respond to an emergency, you could do any of that. You could wake immediately and do that. But you just choose not to. You're in a really focused. In fact, we're constantly hypnotized. If you watch a TV show, you're hypnotized. If you're engaged in this conversation, we're both hypnotized in this conversation. Like whenever you're focused on something, you're in a hypnotic state. So it's a natural state. And this is just like it's more intentionally induced with the intention of transformation.
And another question about that, and you can actually do that online.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very, very cool. So as long as I can see, with the magic of video conferencing, as long as I can see the person, I need to be able to see them to make sure that they're responding. And I've done one where it was the video broke down and we just did audio, but being able to see the person gives me a lot more information to work with as we go through the process.
Oh, it sounds fascinating. So have you in this space of time, have you had some really great successes that you can sing about
Oh my
and
God. Oh my God.
without
Yes.
naming names, obviously,
Yes.
unless you want
Yeah.
to.
So I've had the thing is, the transformations that people have are so profound. They almost can't wait to shout about it. So one of my first ladies, she'd been in this, trauma comes in all shapes and sizes. Trauma can be Trauma can happen in a micro moment in time when somebody tells you you're stupid or you didn't perform well on a test or something, or trauma can be something that you have endured for years. So nobody's trauma is better or worse. And it's a decision made in a microsecond in time that can end up defining your whole future. So, one of my first clients, she'd been sexually abused as a 5-year-old child. She went to counseling, and she said the counselor just kept talking about it. But we released all the emotion attached to it. We released the shame, the guilt, the despair, the helplessness. When you get rid of that, you can rise to the top. You can become a higher frequency being. But when you're holding all those, when those emotions are trapped in your nervous system, that becomes your core frequency. I'm going into law of attraction stuff now. But this lady, as soon as she let that go, she's like, I found my joy. I've come back to myself. And she started getting job interviews, when prior to that, she kept being declined for job interviews. This was just kind of before COVID kicked in. Even during COVID, she was getting job interviews. And then I've had people who've come to me with money problems, saying like on the outside, if you saw them on the outside, it looks like they're doing really great. And then they're coming to me saying, I'm really struggling because although I landed a 16,000 pound contract, my bills that month were 18,000 pounds. So, like, it appeared they were doing well, but they were only just covering their expenses. And then when you dig in, you find out that they're running a pattern that's like, you only just have enough, you only just have enough, you only just have enough. And this person, within 2 days of the session, like, this stuff happens so fast. Within 2 days of the session, messaged me saying, actually gave me a screenshot of someone paying them £2,500 that they weren't expecting. The person saying, I'm ready to work with you, like, here's my money. And the guy's like, I'm ahead of myself for the first time in like forever, like ahead of myself financially. And another client of mine who came to me, this was around Christmas time. She was in a really, really bad state. So she's a postmenopausal woman. She was like a very talented woman, but she's like, I don't even want to get out of bed. I don't even want to get out of my pajamas. Just in a really, really bad state. And literally the next day, she wasn't even looking for clients. The next day, she brought in a 1,700-pound client. Like, something about when your energy shifts, you become magnetic. You're always magnetic. You're always magnetic, but you're magnetizing sometimes things you don't want. And so you think that the law of attraction's passed you by, because you think, well, but I say I want £1 million and I haven't got £1 million, or $1 million, I haven't got $1 million, because you're not a vibrational match for that thing. And I'm sorry, I'm getting.
No, I think that's brilliant, and it's so I can really resonate with that, because just before the COVID thing, I was producing shows like this, but for other people, and then that fell by the wayside, and I'm thinking, oh crikey, just right at the wrong time. And then lo and behold, someone else just said, I just got a message saying, oh, so and so, this is Nick, you two need to get together, and boom, that was like, oh, happy days. so it's weird, isn't it? It's you just vibrate that thing. And a very interesting point you made there was, what looks good on the outside, so people look good, but if it's costing them, as you said, if you got 16 grand and it's costing you 17 grand a month to live, you're in trouble. You might have all the trappings and the access to borrow, but you're never going to be a happy bunny, that's for sure.
Because it's about unleashing, like releasing. So shall I explain about what my sort of aha moment was with rapid transformation and law of attraction?
Oh yes, please. I love law of attraction.
Yeah.
Go for it. I'm going to give you the full screen again.
Excellent. I wish I left my chart somewhere. I've got a little chart that I normally show. So there's something called the map of consciousness, and the map of consciousness refers to the vibrational frequency of emotions. So all of our emotions we're all just vibrating energy. And all of our emotions carry a vibrational frequency. Lower level frequencies are things like shame, guilt, despair, depression, helplessness, hopelessness. Those exist at the lower end of the scale. And at the top end of the scale, you've got like joy, love, gratitude, appreciation, God consciousness. Like, these are your higher things. And you've got a few things in the middle as well. And what I started discovering this was like my eureka moment. Like, I've discovered electricity. It was my own version of that. Doing these rapid transformation sessions and seeing people go from I don't know what to do with myself to making money. And then this client who was in a really depressed state and then made all this money, like brought in a 1,700-pound client, then launched a course and sold out a course that she'd been dithering about for ages. And this just kept happening repeatedly over and over and over again. And I was like, this is what it means to be a vibrational match for that you want. Because when we got to the core of things, most people have a subconscious pattern that is shame, guilt, depression, despair, helplessness that they learned as a child. When we release that, it's like you rise to the top. Then you go to that higher frequency, and then you become magnetic for the things you want. But most people don't recognize how much impact they have had from younger years. And to add to that, it's come from your parents, and people feel like they're betraying their parents to say something bad against them because they'll be like, my parents were good people. No one's disputing that. But what we are saying is that it doesn't matter how good they are. If you came from a life of privilege, this happened the other day. Client who came from a life of privilege, she's rejecting money because she felt embarrassed that she had more than her friends as a child.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so it's fascinating to get inside and to dissect and allow them to leave it behind and then step into something greater.
Yeah, I can really see that when you're talking about you can't blame your parents. No, they were just doing what they thought was the best. They're just trying to looking out for you. But
yes,
you have to just release all the negative crap and just
yes,
understand that there is
and
bigger.
then you rise.
I know. Oh, I love the vibration and the law of attraction. I think I mentioned you last time I spoke to you. I follow a guy called Jim Fortin in the States,
Yeah.
and he said a great one the other day about. He said nothing has any importance other than what you give it, and
Absolutely.
so it's gone in the past. Walk away. I used to have I held a lot of anger for someone that did something really nasty to one of my family,
Yeah.
and the thought of forgiving them was like, why would I?
Yes.
Until you realize that ain't harming them. The only person that anger is harming is me. So,
Totally.
you have to just, and it's and then you become the bigger person, and you can stop. I know,
Well, you set yourself free. Yeah, you absolutely set yourself free. I had a client the other day, and when I do my one-to-one rapid transformation, I run people through a 28-day program because you have to have some aftercare in place. You're dealing with deep stuff, and you may be the only person this person has ever spoken. Like, you may be the first person who will ever bear witness to this. And someone who's saying, yes, I believe you. They may have held it. I've had people who've held it for 60 years or longer. I've had clients in their 70s who get a whole renewed experience of life once they let it go. And I had a client the other week who was holding on to something. Like, we went through the session, and afterwards she was like, I don't feel great. And I'm like, it'll come. And then she said to me, we got on another call, and she said, I can't forgive something. And then, so this is where the NLP comes in. So then we did an NLP process to go through a forgiveness thing. And she was just like, oh my God, I feel so at peace and so at ease. And I can't tell you, it's one of the most underrated and totally necessary experiences for us to have a sense of self-trust and to have a sense of inner peace. Like, it's just not something we experience. Then when we get it, suddenly, Nick, there's no competition. You don't have to worry about someone else who's way ahead of you, or someone who's better looking, or someone's making more money, or someone's doing this. It doesn't matter. And you trust yourself. You've let go of all the crap, and you trust yourself. You suddenly think, if I want to invest in someone else's services, it's not from a place of desperation, fear, or worry. It's from a place of, that person is really going to help me. because I believe and I trust and I know that that's the next logical step I need to take. Not like, oh my God, they're going to help me because I'm not getting where I want to be and everyone else is getting ahead of me in this game. And, we get this kind of fear factor. But when you trust yourself and you have that inner peace, it's just such an amazing, incredible experience that is so underrated.
Oh, I love that you've explained that so beautifully. Yeah, I mean, I remember reading that in the Science of Getting Rich. Wallace Wattle talks about, don't you're not on the competitive plane. There is abundance for everybody. So you're not
Yes.
anybody else. It's just
Yeah.
you. And that was just so well done. I'm looking forward to watching that back. So that'd be cool. Denise, so what are you got for the future? I know we'll come on. You've got your radio show. You're interviewing some amazing people.
Yes, yeah. I've only just started, like my radio show started in November and I was a little bit lost with it. And I was battling with like, oh my God, I'm so fortunate. I've been given this show. I mean, the station has over 1 million listeners. And
Wow.
and then I was like, what do I do? I'm not doing it any justice. And then it just occurred to me a few weeks ago, I'm like, let me just get phenomenal people and I'll just do the phenomenal people series until I decide to not do the phenomenal people series anymore. So, and then I just started reaching out to people who I maybe a year ago I would have been like, oh, I couldn't possibly, but I thought, whatever, let's just reach out to them. And only one person has said no so far. And in fact, someone who said yes is a movie producer who's got a film coming out, like a personal development film with some big names in it. And he said to me, oh, shall I get the others who are going to be in the movie or in the movie? And I'm like, yeah, sure, that would be really cool.
Yeah, go on. Well, I need to raise my vibration.
But like, it's a case of if you don't ask, you don't get. And I was like, and I'm a novice at the radio show. I'm a novice, but just ask and people will say yes. And I just did a really cool interview. I did get up at 3:30 in the morning because the lady was in Australia, but it's a pre-record that I'll do for my radio show now. And she's an international, best-selling author and advocate for teaching women how to create wealth. She believes every woman belongs, can open up to that abundance that they deserve. So my plans for the future are to maximize my radio show and to continue my journey to help people to overcome the limitations. In fact, I'm playing around at the moment with some pre-recorded rapid transformation sessions. Don't get me wrong, having a one-to-one session, there's nothing like having a customized, individualized, personalized session because we get to the core of your stuff. But I'm just playing around with doing pre-recorded for very specific reasons. So like I've got one that's about overcoming money mindset for entrepreneurs who have come from a place of scarcity. And so that's as specific as I get. And then people need to be a bit flexible when they listen to it because it's not customized, but I want to make it available to people who keep telling themselves, I can't afford things, I can't afford things, I can't afford things, because your subconscious mind has one answer for you when you say something, and that's yes. So when you say, I can't afford it, the universe, your subconscious mind, your higher self, whatever, just says, yes, that's right, you can afford it. But we've got to change that conditioning. So I've made something that's like really affordable so I can bring it to the masses. And those who connect with it will go, there is life beyond this. And I don't need to live in this negative hole I've built for myself where I can't afford things and it's okay for them because they have money and I'll never get ahead. And it's heartbreaking because it's so unnecessary.
That's brilliant. And this is the magnetic money rapid transformation program.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And the results are really starting to come in now. It's 2 weeks old and the results are coming in and people are having really fantastic experiences, even through a pre-recorded program.
Oh, that is just genius. That's that is the thing, isn't it? Be able to actually give that to people and that transform them in the same way that I was transformed by a book and a podcast, about a year ago, really.
Yeah.
And, it's wonderful just to spread the word and get more abundance in everyone's lives.
And it's everyone's birthright. And the only thing in our way are the limiting beliefs that we keep serving up. We keep taking our past and putting it one step ahead of us. Every day we step into our past. People think they're stepping into a fresh future unless I cannot emphasize this enough, which is why I think this work is prerequisite for so many people. Unless you do the deep work to get rid of the stuff that's keeping you back, every day it's like taking a scene from your past and putting it one step ahead. Putting it one step ahead. You're stepping into your past every day. And if you want to step into your future, you've got to recode the past. You're not responsible for your parents or your caretakers or your teachers or your extended family members screwing you up, but you are responsible for changing that as an adult. It's your absolute responsibility to say, you know what? My life isn't working the way I want it to. I'm going to seek the solution. And you come back to the truth of who you are. You open up to the abundance that is yours, that is your birthright when you get rid of the crap. Pardon my choice of words.
No, I tell you what, we have just hit the half-hour mark, and you just came up with yet another beautiful soliloquy. I don't know, I can't think of the word. I'm in terrible trouble with my teeth and my words today. But yeah, no, fantastic. There's nothing I can add to that. What we'll do is we'll put the links to your radio show and to your magnetic money rapid transformation.
Awesome, thank you.
In the comments here. So, and then obviously we're going to be promoting this show left, right, and centre. So it'll all be there. Denise, you have been the most wonderful, wonderful guest, and I can't tell you how happy I am that you are my first guest on the new YouTube program. So
I'm absolutely honored. Thank you so much for having me.
I really appreciate it. If you stay where you are, I'm just going to sign off. And yes, guys, there you go. There's nothing more I can say other than, yeah, every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Hopefully we'll go 2 or 3 times a week as well, in the same way as we did with the Facebook. We're just testing out the YouTube. Take care. Have a fantastic week. And yeah, check out the links below.